Hey ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your very first notes video of this school year. So today we're going to be doing Unit 1 Notes 1A. So all that means is that we're doing Notes 1, and then this is just the first section of Notes 1. So Part A, you only be doing one letter a day, so just kind of we're using that just to keep track of where we're at. So let's take a look. So what we're going to be doing for this unit primarily is reviewing stuff that you looked at 8th grade. So nothing should really be new for you. Everything should be a review. So let's take a look at solving equations. So first thing what I suggest when you're watching these videos is to pause the video to write things down. I will be checking that you actually wrote these things down, so please take the time to do so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this almost all the way down so you can start writing some of it down as I talk. I suggest writing it down, pausing the video, and then going back and listening to me talk. So when you start solving an equation, the first thing you want to do is simplify each side of the equation sign. So you're going to do that by distributing and combining like terms. So you're going to start there. Okay, you're going to simplify each side. We don't want to worry about anything else right now, just getting that first side taken care of. The next thing we're going to do is gather the variables to one side of the equal sign. Okay, so we're going to get all of our letters, or we should only have one letter, but every x or every n that we have, we want to bring it over to one side. Remember, you get something over to the other side by adding or subtracting. Okay? We want to do the opposite of what we have to get it over to the other side. The next thing we want to do is use addition or subtraction to cancel that constant. So we want to get rid of the constant, which is the thing that is just a number. So we're going to use addition or subtraction to get that away from our letters. What we're doing is we're taking things farthest away from the letter and trying to move them away. Last but not least, we want to use multiplication or division to cancel that coefficient. Now the coefficient is that number that's being multiplied by the letter. Well, we want to get the letter all by itself. So to do that, we're either going to multiply or divide by the number that's with it. So all of these steps will lead you through solving equations. So let's take a look at some examples. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at number 1 here. So the first thing on our step is to simplify each side. So we're going to start by doing that. So we're going to take x here plus 5x here. So that's going to give us 6x. Excuse me, minus 5 is equal to 1. So now we want to go ahead and solve this for x. So I want to take this constant. We've already gotten all of our letters on one side, so we can skip that step. I want to take this constant and do the opposite. So since I'm subtracting 5, now I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So then I end up with 6x is equal to 6. Last thing I want to do is get rid of that coefficient. Well, this 6 is being multiplied by the x, so I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 6. And then I get that x is equal to 1. So again, this should be a review. It should hopefully not be too difficult for you. If it is, definitely let me know if you need some help. I want you guys to go ahead and try number 2 on your own. Now don't play games, don't try and skip it, because I will be checking your note sheet to make sure it's completed. So I do want you to try this one on your own. All you're going to do is go through and you're going to combine those two like terms and solve for x. If you're stuck, come ask me so we can get you caught up. Okay, let's take a look at this next one. So we need to simplify both sides. So I'm going to start by distributing. I'm taking this 12 and I'm going to multiply it into each section. So 12 times 2 is going to give me 24 minus x is equal to 36. Okay, so now I want to get that x completely by itself. So I notice that this is a positive 24. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to subtract 24 from both sides. So then I get the opposite of x is going to be equal to 12. Well, I don't want to know what the opposite of x is. I want to know what x is. So to do that, I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 1. And that's going to give me x is equal to a negative 12. Now let's take a look at number 4 here. So for number 4, we want to get our x's on the same side. Okay, so to do that, I need to, somehow, I want to get this negative 2x over to the other side. Well, I see that's a negative 2. So I'm going to go ahead and do the opposite, and I'm going to add 2x to both sides. So then 6x plus 2x is going to give me 8x minus 11 is equal to 5. So now I want to get that x by itself, so I'm going to add 11 to both sides. So then I get 8x is equal to 16. Next, divide both sides by 8. And that 16 divided by 8 is going to give me 2. Next, I want you guys to go ahead and try number 5 on your own. Okay, I'm going to have you try number 5 on your own. It's freezing a little on me here. Okay, so you're going to do this one on your own, and then let's go ahead and take a look at number 6. I'm going to get that started for you. So we want to take this -4 and distribute it into everything. So we're going to be multiplying everything by a negative. So I'm going to get -4x, and then -4 times -3. When you multiply two negatives together, that actually is going to become a positive. So I'm going to change that to be a +12 is equal to -x. So then, again, that first step is just simplifying each side. Well, now I want my x's on both sides. This x is already on a side by itself. So I want to actually bring this 4x over to the other side. Since it's negative, I add 4x to both sides. So then I get 12 is equal to -x plus 4x. Well, that's going to give me a 3x. Divide both sides by 3. 12 divided by 3 is equal to 4. You notice that I switched sides there? That doesn't really matter. Okay, when it's an equal sign, switching signs doesn't hurt me. Alright, so I'm going to do number 7 for you, and then I'm going to have you guys try number 8 on your own. So let's take a look at what number 7 is going to look like. Okay, so, whoa, a little farther. So, first thing we want to do is take a look at number 7. So, first thing I need to do is simplify, and that's going to take me a couple of steps. So, I'm going to start by distributing that 5. So, I have 2m plus 5 is equal to, now I'm going to distribute that in. So, 5 times m is 5m. 5 times a -7 is going to give me -35, and then minus 3m. So now I'm going to go ahead, and I still have to do a little bit more simplifying on that side. I'm not quite there yet. I need to combine these two. So then I have 2m plus 5 is equal to -35 plus 2m. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 2m from both sides. What I notice here is that these guys are going to cancel out. And then I have 5 is equal to -35. That's never going to happen. That's not going to be true. So there's actually no solution for this one. And we just kind of abbreviate that as NS. So I want you guys to go ahead and try number 8 on your own. So you're going to have to distribute in first. Okay, and then you're going to move on. And you're going to combine those like terms. I'm going to have you do that on your own. All right, let's take a look at some more of these equations here. Okay, let's start by taking a look at this one. So here we have a negative or a 1/2 x. That gets a little confusing. And when we add fractions, we have to have the number on the bottom be the same. Well, this is the same as 1x. Well, I could write 1 as 2 over 2. So that's kind of what I'm going to do here. So I have a -10 here. And then that's going to be equal to 1/2 x plus, and now I'm going to write that as 2 over 2x. Okay, because that just makes it easier for me to look at. Now I can add that fraction by adding that numerator. Okay, so then I have -10 is equal to 3 over 2x. Alright, so now to solve this, I need to get rid of that fraction. Well, to get rid of a fraction when we're solving equations, we need to multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal is a fraction flipped upside down. So I'm actually multiply this by 2 over 3. By 2 over 3. So here I'm going to take 2 times a -10. That's going to give me a -20 divided by 3 is equal to x, because this 2 cancels out and this 3 cancels out. Now I want you to leave it as -20/3. Fractions are okay. Notice we can't reduce that anymore, so we're going to go ahead and leave it just like that. Okay, let's get you started on number 10, and then I'm going to have you finish it on your own. Okay, so we're going to distribute this in. That's going to give us 8r minus 32. Now, when you distribute in that 1/7, okay, you're going to basically look at that as dividing by 7. So 49 divided by 7 is 7. 70 divided by 7 is 10. So when I distributed that in, I just looked at that as dividing by 7. Go ahead and finish that one up for me. Let's take a look at number 11. So I'm going to do number 11. I want you to do number 12. When you have two fractions set equal to each other, the best way to solve them is to use something called cross multiplication. So that means we're going to multiply across. So I'm going to take 3 times x, and 2 times x minus 2. So let's write that out. 3 times x, and that's going to be equal to 2 times x minus 2. So you're just multiplying across. So now we can go about solving this. So I'm going to distribute in that 2. So then I get 3x is equal to 2 times x, which is 2x, 2 times a negative 2, which is negative 4. So now I'm going to go ahead and here I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides because that 2x is positive, so I need to subtract it. 3x minus 2x is x is equal to a negative 4. So that right there is your final answer. Go ahead and try number 12 on your own. Remember, you need to cross multiply to get that one started. Let's take a look at some word problems because I know those can get a little bit tricky. So your school is building a new computer lab. 400 square feet will be available for your computer station. So this is our total right here. Up here is our total. That's how much space we have. Each station requires 20 square feet. Write and solve an equation of how many computer stations can be placed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each computer station and I'm going to represent it by x. So maybe make a note to yourself if you need to that x is equal to the number of computer stations. Okay? Not the neatest handwriting I've ever had. Okay, so x is equal to the number of computer stations. So we have 400 total square feet. All right, so for every x station we have, it's going to take up 20 square feet. So now what we need to do is I just need to solve this equation for x. Okay, so I'm going to divide both sides by 20. So you can do it in your calculator, or some of you can maybe do it in your head. You're just going to take 400 divided by 20, and that's actually just going to give you 20. But this is a word problem, so we need to make sure we label it. Well, each computer station, x is represented by computer stations, so this is 20 computer stations. All right, so we want to make sure that we get that labeled. Let's get the next one set up, and then we'll have you solve it on your own. Hugo is buying a pair of water skis that are on sale for 2/3 of the original price. After he uses a $25 gift card, the total cost before taxes is $115. What was the original price of the skis? So write an equation for the problem, then solve the equation. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so here we're going to let x represent the original price. Okay, the original price. There we go. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So if x is the original price, we only paid 2/3 of that original price. And then from that original price and 2/3 of it, we took and had a $25 gift card off of that. And once all of that was said and done, our total was $115. So now I'm going to go ahead and have you solve this equation. So here's what you're going to do. I'm going to kind of walk you through the steps here. Start by getting this 25 over to the other side. Then you're going to have to somehow get rid of that 2/3. Remember, when you're dealing with fractions, the best thing you need to do is to multiply by the reciprocal. So go ahead and do that, and you should get a total price for that one. When you're done, bring your note up to Miss Humbert at the front desk, and she will hand you your homework. Again, make sure it's completed before you bring it up. Thanks for listening.